Hello, hello, hello. I don't even know how long it's been. I haven't been on uploading a video. It's been quite a while. The last video that I sent out, I explained to you guys how Jeremiah was just coming into the facility. He is still there. I want to just update you guys again. He is at the New York Foundling Agency. Underneath that agency, however, he is in a private house. He has a roommate. He has a roommate that he rooms in, and then there's two roommates on the other side of the house, and there's 24-hour staffing. He's doing so, so, so well. Yay! We're really happy for him. Things are a bit different here in the house. There isn't that tension and that chaos when he was here. We have Elijah in summer school, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my little guy. But Jeremiah has lost a lot of weight. He looks like a hunk. He's 6'5". He grew another 2 inches, so he is 6'5". I've put pictures on my Facebook page. And he is 19 years old, and he is doing really well. He enjoys the fact that he is back at his old school. He enjoys the fact that he has a routine, and he's getting along well with his roommates. They periodically take him out on trips every other Saturday, and on Sundays he goes to Golden Corral or another buffet where they'll all come together and they have dinner at a buffet type of setting, which he loves. I am pretty happy that he lost all that weight, because when he was home, he was eating pretty much whatever he wanted. Now, this is one of the benefits when your special needs child, especially autistic children who are fixed on a certain routine in what they eat, what happens is that once they're in a structured professional environment, they seem to learn healthier eating habits. Now, I had tried that with him home here, and it was virtually impossible. Jeremiah was really set on foods that he ate on a daily basis. So if it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch, Jeremiah would not pull away from that. Now, I have friends who, one particular friend whom her little child, all he eats is Ritz crackers, and he's autistic. He's on the spectrum, and it's really difficult to have a child that only fixates on one or two foods. Now, Jeremiah, when he was here, he never ate fruits or vegetables. Didn't like any kind of fruit. Didn't like any kind of vegetable. But if you showed him a pack of Chips Ahoy cookies, or a bag of chips, or Pringles, or cakes, anything like that, he shoveled it down. So he was really overweight. So now that he's not overweight, and now that he's in a more routine schedule, guess what? He's eating fruits and vegetables. The kid is eating peas. He's eating beans. He's eating bananas, strawberries, grapes. I mean, he's eating chicken parmesan, which is such a miracle. So don't feel bad if you find yourself in this situation. God forbid. I pray the best for you guys. But if you find yourself in a situation where they will eventually need to be outside the house in a more professional, structured environment, you did what you could for them. Yes, you're going to feel like a failure. I still struggle with that at times, struggling with failing as a mom, but I try to really be anchored in the Word and remember who God says I am, and that helps a whole lot. It's not easy. It is so not easy. But progress has been made for Jeremiah. He's eating much better, and he is much more calm. He is on medication. If for those of you who are wondering, he takes Seroquel, he takes lithium, he takes vitamin D, is it, or vitamin B? I forget. I would have to get back to you on that. If you want to really know a vitamin, just shoot me a message and I'll let you guys know. And he is doing really well. Plus, When he was here and he was overweight, he had a lot of ankle problems. Now he has no ankle problems. So it's really amazing. I'm not going to lie to you, having my son in the hospital for those 9 months, which ironically enough is like holding a child for 9 months, that was hell for me. I'm very good at masking things. I'm very good at surviving. So that was hell. And I had a lot of sleepless nights and things like that. But I really, really prayed for him a lot. I really decreed and declared the word over him a lot. Even if I was doing my own thing, I always remembered and still remember the word of God. That's your anchor. That's our anchor. That's our solid foundation. That's what we really have to rely on. Because it's the truth. And the truth always prevails. And the word of God never will return back void. The word of God will never return back void to you or your children. Mother, caretaker, father, never ever will it return back to you void. No matter how horrible things may look for you, you must know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if God be for you, who can be against you? I'm not here to preach, but I know how much encouragement I needed when my son was in the hospital. And I know how much criticism I received while my son was in the hospital. And I know how hurt my husband felt seeing his son in the hospital. Even though he's a man, and you know men have to be strong, he was crumbling inside, thinking his son hated him. But in reality, Jeremiah doesn't know anything about hate. Jeremiah's a 19-year-old boy. His mind is like 13, 14 years old. He just knows that he's very protective of his mother. He loves his mother. And I'm the only woman for him right now in his eyes. And I'm everything to him. And as his mom, I'm going to continue to care for him and love him and pray over him. Now, the most amazing thing is that I'm able to visit him. I am able to take him out when I want to. I can take him out to dinner. For my birthday, July 1st, I called Jeremiah and I said, Jeremiah, get dressed. Mommy's going to take you out. You know, it was fine. He doesn't know any better. So I took my son out of the agency, out of the house. He was so excited. We went to Olive Garden and I sat next to him and we were reading off the menu and he didn't quite know for sure what to order. So I sat with him for a good 15 minutes going through, you know, what he needed, what he would like or prefer to eat, what would be his choice. I told him, Jeremiah, there's lasagna with spaghetti here, and you can have chicken parmesan, or you know, you can have chicken Alfredo, which is not tomatoes. It's not like spaghetti sauce. It's an Alfredo sauce. It's white. And he's like, He goes, I want the bread with butter. Can I have bread with butter? I said, sure. I said, but what would you like? Would you like the chicken parmesan? I know that's what you eat. There's also eggplant parmesan. He says, I think I want the chicken parmesan, Mom. And he was so excited. And I didn't realize that there was a couple at the other table and they were listening in on everything. And you know, the mother looks at me and she gives me the nicest smile. And that means a lot. At times you need to get encouragement and get feedback from others, good, positive feedback. Really, I don't care what anybody thinks of how I raise my kids anyway, but, you know, the encouragement helps a lot. I know what I've had to go through for them and my husband as well. I've had to really bear the brunt of things, but that's okay. As long as one of us is able to do what we have to do for the kids, because my husband's not all that healthy himself. And but it does cause strain, and I mentioned that in one of the other videos. It does, because a lot of times you're exhausted and you're tired and you just want somebody to come along and help you. However, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It was just to let you guys know Jeremiah is doing really well. And I'll post some pics of him of what he looks like now. Many of your jaws will drop when you see the before picture of a stocky kid who's 6'3", 6'2" actually, when he went into the hospital. And now he lost all that weight. He looks like a big hunk. He's like a hunk. I'm not even kidding you. The kid just morphed into this gorgeous kid. And I walk with him in the street and they're like, he's your son? That's your son? because he's so tall. My neighbor who hadn't seen him in a while, she's like, Jess, he looks like he could be your husband. I'm like, no, he's my baby. He's my firstborn baby because he's so tall. And he's very protective of me. So if I sneeze or I cough, he's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you go to church and have him pray for you? He's very blunt. So he's a wonderful kid, and I love him, and I'm very proud of him. And I tell him all the time, the best thing you could do is just bless your children. Tell them how awesome they are. Tell them how special they are. Tell them that there's a purpose for them. I know a lot of you guys know this, but in the midst of being exhausted, it's easy to forget. When they're going through their emotional upheavals, it's easy to forget to say those things because then you're concentrating on you. Now, he's doing well. So Elijah, our little butterball, I call him, he's so chunky and plushy to hug. I just want to hug and kiss him every single minute. My husband says, why don't you leave him alone already? But he's like a Cabbage Patch doll. He's so biteable and huggable. Anyway, so he's in summer school, and he has had some behavior challenges. He's very hyper. We're taking him to the Rose F. Kennedy Center here in the Bronx. For those of you who do not know, the Rose F. Kennedy Center is in Building 5, connected to Jacobi Medical Center here in the Bronx. They are very good. You have the opportunity to take them to the dentist within the facility. You have the opportunity to take them for a behavioral assessment. Sorry, my neighbors. They're a little loud. You can take them for a behavioral assessment, which Elijah has an appointment in August. They are thinking he may have ADHD along with autism. Am I scared? No. I've been through way too much with these kids to start giving into fear and start, you got to roll with the punches. You got to trust the Lord. It is hurtful at times, and sometimes I'm a bit vulnerable, but for the most part, you got to plug along, because especially the fact where you feel it's just you and your spouse or you by yourself, you have to be there for them. So I don't have time to sit and sulk and be in front of the mirror crying my eyes out. I have days like that, don't get me wrong. I have days like that, but I try to give it to God in prayer. I try to keep the worship music going, and I do cling to the word, because it says in the word that the joy of the Lord is our strength, and that he strengthens us, especially when we're weak. So when I feel weak, yes, I run to the word. So Elijah is displaying some behavioral issues. He's starting to spit. He's starting to hit. But then he'll turn around and be the sweetest kid ever. He's so sweet. The other day I'm walking up the stairs with him. He turns around and says, Mom, I want to take care of you. Just out of the blue. And I was exhausted. I had just finished taking him to the park after coming out of work. I said, you know what, let me take him to the park. And I'm walking, and he just turns around and he goes, I want to take care of you. He's 80 pounds. Okay? He's 5 years old. Yes, he needs to lose weight. But he turns around on the stairs and he gives me his arms like this. He extends his arms, but it's for me to carry him. Meanwhile, he's saying he wants to take care of me. I'm like, okay. I don't know if that necessarily means that you want to take care of me if you're telling me to hug you, but I understood what he meant. And let me tell you something. It felt so good. It felt so good. It was like God was giving me a glimpse into the future, showing me the kind of heart my little guy's going to have towards me when I get older and I may need taken care of, or my husband gets older and he's going to need taken care of. It shows me Elijah's heart. Yes, he's more in touch with his empathetic side a little bit more than his older brother. He's a little bit more milder on the scale of autism. So it turns out that he has a behavior plan. He's not at PS 119 here in the Bronx where he was. Excuse me, I will continue this.